Hi guys, like Richard Tice before him, Nigel Farage is attempting to use his platform in the House of Commons not to ask questions on behalf of the constituents, both those who voted and didn't vote for him in Clacton, but instead to throw red meat to his supporters and engage in dog whistle politics. The Reform UK MP asked the Prime Minister during PMQs about two-tier policing, the idea that law enforcement is selective in applying the law when it comes to dealing with, say, the right wing versus the Muslim community. Starmer pretty much ignored the bait and used his response to attack the Tories.
Nigel Farage.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday we witnessed some extraordinary celebratory scenes outside Britain's prisons where, in some cases, serious career criminals were released. And this to make way for, yes, rioters, but equally those who've said unpleasant things on Facebook and elsewhere on social media. Does the Prime Minister understand? There is a growing feeling of anger in this country that we are living through two-tier policing and a two-tier justice system.
What a charlatan. Okay, so before we hear Keir Starmer's response, there isn't two-tier policing. The police are applying the law as they normally do. Now, what he's also mentioning here, of course, is this idea that people are writing nasty stuff on Facebook and being arrested. No, they're being arrested for inciting violence, not for writing nasty stuff. And he should be careful because he's quite close to the edge here when it comes to inciting violence. You know, he can say what he wants in the House of Commons, but if he's saying stuff outside there, there's a risk that he could be arrested as well. And he has been saying some pretty nasty stuff over the last number of years. But let's hear what Keir Starmer had to say in response to this.
I'm angry to be put in a position of having to release people who should be in prison because the last government broke the prison system. And the Prime Minister was repeatedly warned. He had his own release scheme. He was repeatedly warned that he had to adopt the scheme that we put in place. The former Justice Minister said if we don't do it, we'll have to get down on our knees and pray. The police chiefs made it absolutely clear in a letter to him before the election that he needed to take action, saying that they wouldn't be able to discharge their duties and saying the risk was loss of an ability to detain suspects. That means, Mr. Speaker, an inability to arrest people committing offences. That's how bad it was. And they warned the Leader of the Opposition that further delays until after the general election will increase the risk significantly. What did he do? He delayed and increased the risks.
Well said, well said. So instead of actually responding to Nigel Farage's bait, instead of taking the red meat, Starmer switched it and attacked the Tories with it, which is correct. You're not giving Farage the attention he desires. Instead, you're using this attack line and redirecting it at the Tories where it deserves to be, because the Tories ran public services into the ground, including the prison system, and this meant that now people have to be released from prison early in order to put other people into prison. The Tories refused to build enough prisons. They refused to upgrade prisons. We, on the live stream the other day or yesterday, were looking at how a prisoner was talking about how he'll have to, he has nothing to look forward to. There are no jobs available for him. There's no rehabilitation for him out of prison, and there's a risk that he will reoffend and be back in once again. So it's not just the physical prisons that the Conservatives have abandoned during their time in power. It's also the system itself. It's completely broken. And if you want to put people away, you'll need to move some people out. And unfortunately, there will be cases of people reoffending. There will be cases of people getting involved in crime again. And there's nothing you can do about that. You can hope that they won't. But if there isn't a system in place to deal with that, then of course you're going to see all these problems. Now, is Farage interested in finding solutions? Of course not. He's just there, as I say, to throw some red meat to his base. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.